Welcome back to Week 6 of Fantasy Football Fridays. I'm Brody Heidemann, joined alongside Peyton Parker, and today we're going to be going over our starts, our sits, and our predictions for Week 10 of the NFL. And to start off with, we got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the New England Patriots. Both these teams have kind of just been so far this season. The Colts, though, I think they're pretty decent. They're playing fine with Gardner Minshew quarterback. I'm going to start Michael Pittman if you have him. He had a good week last week, about 16 points, which would be a good start for you. I'm going to sit, and this is a common recurrence for us on the show, I'm going to sit any Patriots offensive player. They are just terrible. They have this matchup at about 50-50, but it's not going to be 50-50. So I would just sit any, if you have a Patriot offensive player, sit them. My score prediction, though, I think the Colts are going to win big. I think it's going to be about 28-10. Give me the Colts winning that one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on the Patriots just being terrible offense this season. If I had to compare them to an offense, it would be like the Iowa offense. They're just, both of them just horrible. With that being said, I'm going to start Zach Moss of the Indianapolis Colts. I think he still gets touches. He still gets the ball, even with Jonathan Taylor being back. Yeah, I'm going to sit any New England offensive player. I mean, they're just terrible. And my score predictions, I got the Colts 24, New England 17.
That's a close one. Next up, Houston Texans taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Texans coming off a huge win. And CJ Stroud, he's Rookie of the Year right now. If you have him, start him. If you aren't starting CJ Stroud at quarterback, he's a top 10 fantasy option at quarterback. But I would say start of the week, I'm going to say Noah Brown. He had a good week last week, kind of proven he can be a top target. Him or Tank Dell would be a good start. My sit, though, I'm going to sit T. Higgins. He's coming off a pretty good week with Joe Burrow. I don't think he's going to be very productive this week. I've heard rumors that Derek Stingley's coming back for the Texans. Don't know if that's really true, but if he does, I think he's going to be matched up on T. Higgins. My prediction, though, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game yet again. Neither defense has really been anything special so far this season. Give me the Texans winning again, though, 33-28 over the Bengals.
Yeah, Brody, you took the words right out of my mouth. My start is CJ Stroud. I mean, one of the best fantasy performances from a rookie ever last week.
Arguably.
41 points. And my sit, Dameon Pierce, he's been underwhelming all season. He just hasn't produced at all. And I got the Bengals winning this game 34 to the Texans 28.
Ooh. Next up, Green Bay Packers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And both these teams, they've just been, the Steelers, they've just kind of somehow won 5 games. I don't know how. And the Green Bay Packers, they just beat the Rams, and they played a pretty decent game. Jordan Love, though, I'm going to sit him. I don't think he's going to do very good this week. The Steelers' defense is one of the best in the league. I would sit Jordan Love. Also, A.J. Dillon if you even have him. I'm going to start Deontay Johnson, though. He had his first touchdown in over 2 years last week, and I think they're going to do pretty good. I think it'll be a Steeler win again somehow. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Give me the Steelers winning 17-3 over the Packers.
Yeah, this one's pretty obvious, but I'm going to sit Najee Harris. I mean, he hasn't been good at all in Matt Canada's offensive scheme. And honestly, either of the wide receivers in Pittsburgh, George Pickens or Deontay Johnson.
That's what I was going to say.
Start them. One of them will be matched up against Jair. So it just basically, we'll see who's matched up against them. Whoever isn't will probably get more targets, get the ball more. I got the Packers losing with the Steelers scoring 20 points. The Packers probably 13.
Yeah, about that, I'd say. Around that number. Next up, though, 3-5 Titans taking on the 3-5 Buccaneers. Both these teams, they've kind of looked for a bright spot this season. New starting quarterbacks for both these teams this year, Baker Mayfield and now Will Levis for the Titans. I'm going to start Will Levis or DeAndre Hopkins. They kind of underperformed against the Steelers last week. Wasn't the best matchup for them, but I'm going to start either of them. I think they're going to explode against this secondary from the Buccaneers. And my sit of the week, Rashard White, he has not been anything very special. He had a decent game last week, but he's just not doing anything very good. So I'm going to get a big guess, though. I think the Titans run away with this one. This is going to be a blowout, in my opinion. I think the Titans win 30-13 over the Buccaneers. Watch out. I think Will Levis is going to be a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's also my start. Will Levis, very impressive first game against the Steelers. Didn't look as great, but Steelers' defense is very good. My sit, also Rashard White, hasn't been good, hasn't produced. I got the Titans winning 33 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 16.
Following that, San Francisco 49ers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And both these teams, they've been looking pretty good so far this year. The 49ers, they've dropped a few games in a row now. It's something rare you don't really see from them. I'm going to start. This is a weird start this week, and I just have a feeling for some reason that Calvin Ridley is going to have a big week. I don't know why. I just have a good feeling about Calvin Ridley this week. Something inside of me. And my sit, a few weeks ago we were saying start him. He was at one point probably MVP candidate. Brock Purdy, I'm going to sit him. He's not been anything good. He's kind of holding this offense back. I think this Jacksonville defense kind of gets to him, gets a few pressures on him, kind of gets him shaken up. That's why I think the Jaguars are going to get the win here. I think the 49ers are going to fall to 5-4, and it's not going to be good for them. Give me the Jags winning 30-13 over the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Start Christian McCaffrey. Sit Christian Kirk. And I got the 49ers winning 38 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. 28.
Yeah. It can go either way, I feel like. Next up, though, Cleveland Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens, and both these teams, I'd say it's Browns' top defense in the league versus the Ravens, at this point, top offense in the league, and this is just going to be a battle. I think both of these teams have got some star pieces. Gus Edwards, he has broken out for the Ravens at running back. He's got 7 touchdowns, multiple touchdowns over the past 2 weeks. Had 2 last week, 3 week before that. That's why I'm going to start Gus Edwards yet again. I think he's going to do pretty good. They're going to try and run the ball a lot against this Browns front. Might not get much done. They might get a lot done. And my sit of the week, I'm going to sit Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's going to be very good. He's coming off a pretty decent week with Amari Cooper. I don't think they're very good, though, this week. My score prediction, though, I think the Ravens are going to win this battle. Give me the Ravens winning 23-13 over the Browns.
Yeah, with Deshaun Watson coming back, I'm going to start Amari Cooper this week. I think he'll get more targets. I think the ball will be more accurate. I think he'll have a chance to actually catch the ball.
I can see that.
And on the flip side, sit Zay Flowers. I don't know how to feel about him. Some weeks he puts up 17, some weeks he puts up 7. It's just hard to gauge where he's going to go. And with this Cleveland Browns defense being so good, I don't think that he'll have very many targets. Mm-hmm. And this is weird because the score predictor, or the matchup predictor, says the Ravens have a 70% chance to win the game. I don't think so. I got the Browns winning 28 to the Baltimore Ravens 19.
Defensive battle there. The Browns, they're the best in the league. Next up, though, Atlanta Falcons taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to give you it short and sweet here. Sit any Cardinal offensive player. They have Tune starting at quarterback this week. Do not play an offensive player for them. They're going to drop a bomb. The Falcons, though, a lot of people have been questioning Bijan Robinson. They haven't been putting him in near the goal line. I'm still going to start Bijan. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. He's going to get a lot of play time. I think he's going to end up getting a touchdown is my prediction this week. I think this is going to be a big blowout. I think the Falcons are going to win huge. Give me the Falcons winning 42-17 over the Cardinals.
I've said this in weeks past, and I'll say it again. Start Younghoe Koo.
Ooh.
If he is your kicker or if he's on waivers, put him on your bench or on your team. He produces so much points.
True.
It's not even funny. I'm going to sit Drake London. He's questionable, and I don't really know how I feel with this Atlanta Falcons offense, not really having a starting quarterback. With that being said, I got the Atlanta Falcons winning 28, Arizona Cardinals 13.
I think that's a fair score. Next up, Detroit Lions taking on Los Angeles Chargers. Lions looking hot so far this year, but somehow this matchup predictor has the Chargers the 60% chance to win. I don't like that. My start of the week, and I think he's going to continue to break out. He was the lead rusher 2 weeks ago when they played. Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the best running backs in the league, and he's been a running back too all season. Start Jahmyr Gibbs. It's Jahmyr Gibbs season. David Montgomery, he might come back, he might not. Start Jahmyr Gibbs, though. Am I sit? I'm actually going to sit Justin Herbert. I think it's a crazy sit. He's not been very productive. He had a really bad week last week against a terrible Jets defense, and he's not been very good, fantasy-wise. He's not been putting up good fantasy numbers. I'm going to sit Justin Herbert. Just trust me on it. I think this Lions defense gets to him. My score prediction, I think the Lions are going to win yet again. They're going to cement themselves as the top team in the NFC North. Give me the Lions winning 31-24 over the Chargers.
I think this one's going to be an offensive battle. It's hard for me to sit any of the top offensive players on either of these teams. So with that being said, I'm going to sit either of the defenses, and I'm starting Keenan Allen or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Both of them very productive, get a lot of targets, and you know what? I got the Detroit Lions winning 42 to the Chargers 38.
Next up, New York Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys. And this matchup predictor, 90% chance win for the Cowboys. That is insane. But Tommy DeVito, he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Giants this week. And the Giants are just plagued with injuries. Daniel Jones out for the season. This Giants squad, I would not be surprised if they end up with the number 1 overall pick somehow. They are terrible. This Giants team is not good. My sit of the week, any Giants offensive player, there's going to be no production. Maybe Saquon Barkley, but even him, he's not been doing good with his offensive line. My start of the week, though, I'm going to start the Cowboys defense. Expect for them to get a lot of sacks, a lot of picks, and this is just going to be a defensive game from the Cowboys. I think they're going to put up a lot of points, and yet again, I think the Giants are going to lose huge. Give me the Cowboys winning 35-7 over the Giants.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on just the Giants in general. A lot of injuries, not a good offensive line. Just don't start anybody from this offense. And start Tony Pollard or CeeDee Lamb from the Cowboys. I mean, both of them, production, get a lot of targets or carries because, Tony Pollard's a running back. But I got the Cowboys winning 38, Giants 3.
Next up, Washington Commanders taking on the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of questions in this one. The biggest question, Kenneth Walker. He's been very unproductive the past few weeks. He's done nothing for either weeks he's played and had nothing. That's why I'm going to sit Kenneth Walker, as crazy as it sounds. Please sit Kenneth Walker. I don't think he's going to do very good, and I don't know. I'm going to start Sam Howell. I think he's been really good, and he's been putting up good numbers for the Washington Commanders. I think this is somehow going to be a Commanders win. Watch. I think they're going to win. They've been playing close games. They're sitting right under 500. Give me a close Commanders win, 24-21 over the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think Sam Howell's been very impressive for this Washington Commanders offense. And with that being said, start Brian Robinson. I think he'll have a big game. Kind of mediocre running back, a little bit. But somebody that's been very mediocre over the past couple of weeks is Kenneth Walker, like you said.
Exactly.
And I'm going to sit him. And give me the Seahawks winning this game 28 to the Commanders 21.
Next up, Sunday Night Football, New York Jets taking on the Raiders. And both these teams, they are just, I don't know. They are not very good, and they're playing Sunday Night Football in primetime matchup. Another Jets primetime matchup. I'm going to start Garrett Wilson. He's coming off a pretty decent game against the Chargers. I think he's going to have another big game. My sit of the week, though, I'm going to sit Devontae Adams. He's been so unproductive. He's been playing terrible. I think he's going to do nothing again. Another start, and you could start them. Please start the Las Vegas Raiders defense. They've been getting sacks and interceptions all over the place. I think they shut down this Jets offense. My score prediction, though, I think it's going to be a defensive battle. It's going to be a low-scoring game yet again. Give me the Raiders winning 13-7 over the Jets.
Yeah, keep this one short and sweet again. Sit Devontae Adams, hasn't produced at all. Start Josh Jacobs. Jets' run defense isn't very good. I got the Raiders winning this one 28 to the Jets 17.
Last game of the week, Denver Broncos taking on the Buffalo Bills. And Peyton's going to like this one. My start of the week, I'm starting Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson does good, and I think he lights up this Bills defense. I'm going to sit Stephon Diggs, though. I know it sounds crazy, and I know everyone's going to probably question me. Patrick Surtain's going to lock him down. I think Patrick Surtain is going to have a good game. I think this Bills offense is going to hold them back, and they're not going to be able to get anything done. That's why I'm going to have the Broncos get an upset here. I think the Broncos get a huge upset Monday Night Football, and I think it's going to kind of question the Bills' offense and the Bills' team. They're going to go to 500. My score prediction, I think it's still a close game. I think it's a pretty close game. Give me the Broncos winning 23-20 over the Bills.
Yeah. I think I agree with you on Patrick Surtain locking down Stephon Diggs. So for that reason, I'm going to start Gabe Davis. I think this Broncos defense is weakened without Kareem Jackson as well. And I think Gabe Davis could go off in this game. So I'm starting Gabe Davis. And I'm going to sit Javonte Williams. He has been kind of less than mediocre. He's been kind of trash this year. But I think this could be a competitive game. I got the Buffalo Bills winning 31 to the Broncos 23.
Thanks for tuning in today, folks. This has been Week 6 of the Fantasy Football Fridays. I'm Brody Heidemann, joined alongside Peyton Parker. with the Wingspan, the student news source of Gretna East.